So welcome to this BBMS session. Uh, we have discussed about storage structures and indexes as a part of our previous discussion. So we talked about disk, tapes, file organizations, etc. File organizations, we talked about heaps, sorted files and indexes. Then we talked about B plus trees. So in B plus tree, we mentioned that the leaf nodes, they are going to contain the index, and the non-leaf nodes, they are going to contain the index, and the leaf nodes, they are going to contain the data items. And these data items, they are interlinked, and of course they are sorted. Of course they are sorted. So we call this non-leaf node as a root, and others we call it as intermediate node. So if I'm going to give a value called as 17, so the elements towards the left will be less than 17, and the elements towards right will be greater than 17. So in this way we sort out the elements, and thereby we will discuss the items there. Then we talked about hash based buckets. So in hash based buckets, we use hashing mechanism to compute the hashing function, and H, it is going to look for the search key, and R, it is going to give up the number of records. Now, how we are going to identify the things? One, we take only the key value. Two, we take up the keys and records. Three, we are going to take up keys and record IDs. Now, today we will be talking about index classification. So the agenda today was to talk about index classification. So in this index classification, we need to describe the search key. We need to describe the search key. So search key, now it can be assigned to the primary key of a table, or it can be assigned to the candidate key of the table or the secondary key of the table. In order to have faster search or retrieval, we are going to use the keys. That was the primary focus. So in a table, most of the ways we keep primary index, or we are going to make it with a secondary index. Why? The reason is to establish search keys, and this index is going to be a unique item for faster and safer search. To do this index classification, we work with clustering concept. So what is cluster was? Group of items with some similarity in common. So I have O grade, then I have A plus grade, then I am going to have A grade. So all the students who are in O grade, they are formed as a cluster. Similarly, all the students they are with A grade, they are formed as another cluster. Now, what was the similarity was students who are going to get A grade. So assume it is from 90 to 100. Similarly, it is from 80 to 90, and the other sector was from 70 to 80. So now what was the similarity? There are 10 students, assume these 10 students, they are belonging to one grade, that is 90 to 100, and that was the similarity. Now, if I am taking 70 to 80 here, again, assume there are 15 students here. So 15 students, they are between 70 to 80, and that is what the similarity. So now I am putting the marks like this: 72, 72, 74, 75, 75, then 76, 77, 79, 79. Now assume if it is like this. Now all these elements, they are in the range here, and you can see all of them, they are sorted. All the elements are going to be sorted. So first of all, we are grouping the items. First key takeaway. Second key takeaway was we are going to make the things in sorted form. If these two items are going to be fulfilled, then we call that index as clustered index. We call that index as clustered index. So that was the first implication what we are going to mention it out with clustered index. So if order of data records is the same or close to each other, then we are going to call that item as a cluster index. So we mentioned that cluster is nothing but group of items which are going to be similar. For example, we have O grade, we have A plus grade and A grade. Assume A grade students means they get 70 to 80 marks. So assume there are 15 students in that. Now you put the 15 students here: 71, 72, 74, 75, 75, 76. In this model we are going to get. Now what was the commonality was we are going to sort the marks. So 71 to 79, that too in a ascending order sorting we are going to give. Now we call this item here as a cluster. So what was cluster index was, in the index we are going to see that it is going to be in a sorted item, that is key number 1. Second keynote was they should be same or they can be close to another, the order of entries. Now we are fixing up with in form of a cluster index. And if it is violating this rule, very simple, if it is violating the simple, then we are going to say it is unordered group. Then we call the item as unclustered as such. So we sorted out the items and then we made a group. We call that item as a clustered item. We are not sorting the item, then we are going to mention this term as a unclustered item. So the example of an unclustered item, we call it as alternative 2, and those they are going to be represented in form of heap. So when the heap is full, a overflow bucket is concatenated and there it is going to put the elements. All the elements are going to be linearly propagated. There is no such order, one after the other elements are pulled up, piped up. So where we are going to say that as a heap file. So the second was an unclustered structure where we are going to pull up with a heap like the content. Now, how we are going to convert this heap to a clustered was we need to sort the heap file. So when we are going to sort the heap file, some free space is going to come and where we are going to give some insert operations. So when there is some overflow pages, they need with some insert and that it is going to be very close but not identical to sort, etc. Now let us look the organization of clustered index and the organization of unclustered index. So here we get a sorted index entry. Here we get an unsorted index entry. That was the first key takeaway we should have. Next one, we are going to take up the data items followed by data files. Data files consist of records. So item number 1, item number 2 and item number 3. Now you can see here everything is going to be sorted out and it is very sync, but here it is like a many to many model because it is totally a heap oriented, unsorted. So it is very clumsy to understand the things. So data entry, it can pick up the value either any of a location. So if there is a data entry node A, then it can bring up a data from any of a location. But here you can see it is totally a sorted way, of items here, and it will be very easy to scan or easy to search. So that was the advantage what a clustered index is going to have. So the very first alternative one what we were talking was, so in practice clustered index they are going to be the sorted file. That is first takeaway. And second takeaway was they are going to have at most one such key that we are going to call it as a primary key. Now next one, the cost of a retrieval of a data, it is going to be greatly varied. So if it is unclustered, it is more. So we talked about clustered. In this clustered, it is going to have a primary way of representing the concept. Next comes the second alternative was we need to build up a clustered index. For that, we are going to have the heap file, and once it is going to be a heap file. What was a heap file here? So heap, we are going to call it as unsorted. We are going to call it as unsorted file. So heap, we call it as heap, it is unsorted file, and this unsorted file to be uh, the data items, they are linear, or we are going to call it as unordered. Now what was the remedy? To convert it into a clustered index, now we need to sort the heap file. We need to sort the heap file. That is takeaway 1. Second takeaway, we need to put a key, that is it can be a primary. So we get a primary key and it is going to have at most 1. So maximum at most 1 in a file. So that is the key takeaway when we are going to build up a clustered items. See what we are going to say. The items, they are similarly grouped. The items, they are going to be similarly grouped. If it is unclustered, obviously it is vice versa. That means it is directly taking a heap, it is totally unordered, it is not sorting, it is going to use a candidate key, there can be more than one keys, it is going to have list of record IDs, and the items are unsorted. All the properties are going to be there if it is going to be a unclustered item. So what we talked was the very first one, clustered item. So here you can say sorted, or you can say ordered data entries here. Then we are going to have data records which are going to be ordered, and it is going to have an index entries. So index entry, it is taking up with the primary key that it is having at most one. So when we are going to call it as unordered, when we are going to say it is unclustered item. Second one, it can have candidate key or it can have a primary key. So need not be one key, any of them can be taken up. Then here the data items are purely unordered. So that was the key takeaway, what we need to understand between clustered and the unclustered items. Now, either in a clustered model nor in an unclustered model, we need to estimate the cost. We need to estimate the cost. So cost is measured in three items, B, R, D. B, it is going to give number of data pages, or it is going to give number of record per page, and D, it is going to have the average time either to make a read operation or to make a write operation on page. So that is what we are going to assume in form of a cost of a model. So cost of a model, it is going to be estimated with three words. One, we call it as B. Two, we call it as number of records per page, number of data pages, that is B. And thirdly, it is going to have average time either to make a read operation or either to make a write operation. So what we talked was, we talked about heap file. Heap file, we mentioned it is with the unclustered item and it is going to be a random order, and we make a insert at the end. So that is one of the takeaway. So we have a overflow at the heap file we discussed. Second thing was sorted file. In this sorted file, first we are going to have the key, and key, it is going to be taken from list of key items. So list of key items, we get age and salary, and K, we are going to get it from K star. Fine. Next one, we are going to take the clustered. In this cluster, we talked about the order in which the indexes are going to be stored. So that is towards a B plus tree, etc. Now, heap file was extended one with B plus tree and another with a hash index. So H of R. So H it is going to be stands for hash function. R it is going to stand for the row ID. So there we are going to get the heap file. So we talked about heap, sorted, clustered, heap file with unclustered. That is, we say it is unordered. And next one was unclustered hash function. All these are the different ways of file organization, and these file organization need to be compared with one another to assume which it is going to be the best. So scan, it is going to read the records from the disk. This was the key takeaway for scan. So scanning is nothing but to make some input operation. What are the overheads? What are the logistics? So you are going to scanning something from a database. So for that we are going to make this read operation. So where we call that item as a scan. Next one we call as equality search. So I can say Siler ID, then I can say silers.sid, then I can say results.sid. This was the example. Now Siler ID is going to be available in both the tables, right? Siler ID is available in both the tables. Now we are making some equal comparison operation. We are making some equal comparison operation. So that is what we are going to call here as a equality search. Third was a range. Assume I am going to get an A plus grade. What is A plus grade? Students getting 90 to 80 to 90. We are going to call the students who get the marks between 80 to 90 in a subject. It is A plus grade. Similarly, if I am going to give A, then that means students marks, they are between 70 to 80. They are between 70 to 80, then we call it as a A grade. Now what is range here? Range, it is fixing a minimum or it is fixing a maximum value. Range, it is coming out with fixing either a minimum value or it is going to take up a maximum value. Next, how much time it takes to insert a record and how much time it is going to move a tuple or a record. So these are the 5 comparison operations which are going to be implemented with heap files, sorted files, clustered B plus, heap with unclustered and heap with hash. The first comparison we call it as scanning. We fetch all the records or we make an input operation, we do a scanf. That is giving a read operation, we call it as scan. Next one, we make a comparison operation with an equal to. SID is available in both Silers and result. So there we compare SID with SID. Third one, we give up a range. When we are going to give a range, it is propagated either with a maximum value to a minimum value. So I get students in A plus grade. That means students are going to get the marks from minimum of 80 to a maximum of 90. I pull up the students and give those students as A plus grade. That we are going to call it as a range selection. Then we are going to make an insert of a tuple, or we can remove a tuple from a database. So tuple is nothing but a record which it is consisting of a row. So insert operation, delete operation, range select operation, equality operation, scan operation, these are the different items which are needed to be compared. So we talked about heap files. So when we are going to say it is a heap file, it is organized in form of buckets. It is organized in form of buckets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then if I call up 5A1, now we make a equal operation with 5, it is assumed as a key. 5 it is assumed as a key, and then we put this 5A1 in this buckets. Similarly, if I am going to say roll number 211, then what we do? Roll number 2 compared with the second bucket, true. Then we push this into the data record. In this way, we are maintaining a heap sort, a heap file in form of a buckets. If we make a comparison and if a match it is there with a key, then we put that item in the content. Similarly, if there is a overflow, they are going to be appended or added to the EVO, that is N of 5. So we talked about it is selection of a key, exactly one match. So what was the match? Roll number 565 is there. Then we compare bucket number 5 with the 5. Both are equal. So put 565 in this record. So in this model, we make a heap file. Sorted files, there is nothing much to discuss. We sort on the key index, either in an ascending or either in a descending. So there is nothing much to take up on a sorted file. So index is purely sorted, where we have the clustered index, the primary key index. It is purely sorted and happens one after the other. Now, when we are going to work on these indexes, there are ways where we can store it in hashes. There are ways where we store it in trees. Next comes the scan. We are scanning the tree with a input operation. So roots followed by intermediate nodes. Then we have the data entries. So these two items, we call it as non-leaf data entries. We call them as leaf. So this is what we do with a leaf. So we include the scans as per the indexes or as per the data entries. Next comes the range searches. So in range search, we are going to use a tree index to file out the set of data. So 5, 6, that means it is from 5012 to 599. 6, 6012 to 699. Now we restrict the set of data record what it is going to fetch it up. Now to estimate the cost, we are working with B, we are working with R, and we work with a D. 1, we work with B, 2, we work with R, 3, we work with D. Number of records on the page, number of pages, we talked about this. I will just recap you about the 3 important terms. So B, number of data pages, R, it is giving up number of records per page, D, it is the average time to make a read or write operation. I will write here for convenience again. So D item, number of reads or writes on data item, or number of records on pages, B, number of pages. So these 3 are going to be the key way to compute the cost. We talked about heap, followed by sorted, clustered, unclustered, unclustered with hash. So unclustered we take up with the index, and we take up with the hash buckets. So these are the 2 items we should understand here. Rest, we talked about scan, that is input output operation. Then we talked about comparison, that is equality. Third, we talked about minimum value and maximum value, that is range. Making a tuple insert, making a tuple delete. So inserting a tuple or deleting a tuple. So in this way we made up all the operations. So heap, it is purely an unsorted file where we can make a linear operation, and heap, it is going to be a unsorted operation. Sorted files, these are the items what we put it in an ascending order, or we put this in a descending order. In clustered, we are going to take up the primary keys. In unclustered, we take up the index in form of primary key or in form of candidate key, row IDs, etc., list of row IDs, whatever it is. And we take up a hash value, h of r, hash code based on the hash record. We take up the unclustered items. When we talk about scan, we assume it as an input operation, equality a comparison operation, range with a minimum value and a maximum value, insert operation to insert a record into a database table, how much it costs, to delete a record from, to delete a row from a database, how much it costs. So we are going to bring up these items. These items, they are piled up with the name B, the name D, or the name called as R. B stands for giving up the number of pages, number of records on that page. D starts the average time either to make a read operation or to make a write operation. So heap, and if it uses a technique called as scan, then it is going to bring up B into D, that is number of pages and multiplied with the number of records on the page. Number of pages multiplied with the number of records on the page. And if it is an equality, how much is the cost? It is half of that value. That's the reason why we call it as 0.5. And the range is similar to the B into D and followed by the same item. So in this way, we are going to calculate a insert item that is towards a heap, with the cost for doing an insert will be 2 into D, that is 2 into average time to make either a read operation or to make a write operation. So that is all regarding the computing of the cost. So holistically, what we can bring up at this scenario was, we talked about the indexing, we talked about the different types of file organization, and for indexing we talked about primary indexing and secondary indexing. File organization, we had enough glimpses of hash, and it is good for equality search, which it is going to apply the linear search, because it need not bother about the order in which the records are going to be stored. And sorted file, of course, they are going to be as similar as a binary search. So the items need to be sorted out. So here we sort the items. So that's where they are putting in a better way of representing using the B plus tree content. So what is an index? It is going to be a collection of data entries plus a way to quickly find the entries with key values. So we mix up a key value in order to have fast search. So key value, it can be a row ID, or we are mixing up with a column to bring up speed and fast searches. So data entries, yeah, they can be pointed out with a key value or number of row IDs, or it is going to have number of row ID list. So if I'm going to have a database tables here, so student number, student name, and student marks. If it is in this case, so this is 565 and 5A0. Now the entire entries of this element, it is represented it as row ID. We call it as row ID, which it is going to be a pointer value. So every record, every tuple is going to have a row ID. Now this collection, this is what we call it as a collection. This we call it as a list of row IDs. So that is what we gave here as row ID elements. Then we have a search key value. So search key value, it is going to be taken up with the student number. It is more or less equal to a search key value, like a primary key, etc. So indexes, yeah, mentioned it can be a primary index where it is going to take only the primary key. Second, we call it as secondary index. It can be primary or it can be candidate key. Any of an item can compose it. So, and it is efficiently working with unclustered value. So we call that item as a secondary index. So when index is going to be taken up, we sorted out the content, that is clustered index, and we taken up the unsorted item, we call it as an unclustered index. So indexes, why we need some indexes was to choose speed up of the queries. So in order to have reduce the overhead maintenances or to update the fields quickly, we take up a index, and it is giving up the quick retrieval over the data. So it is supported with various strategies, etc., like clustering, unclustering, that is unordered clustering, etc. So all these items, it is going to be taken up. So why we need an index was to understand the nature of the workload of an application with some goals to develop a good design. So that is what we have talked about, the primary indexes or the secondary indexes. So a quick recap of what we done for today was we talked about the storage and indexing. So storage, it is going to be taken up with the disks, that is it can be randomly stored, but when it is going to be taken up in magnetic tapes, they are going to be worked out with the sequential order. And file organization, yeah, they are purely done on secondary storage devices on the externally stored. So they do have one way, that is row id, the record id, or second one was to give up a index. So they gave a faster and safer searches. That is what we call it as index search key. And when the data was brought the secondary storage from the secondary storage to the primary storage primary storage, so this is what we call here as buffering, and it is purely a temporary purpose here. So this can be a C drive or a D drive or a E drive or an F drive, that is secondary storage. And primary storage, they mean to have the random access memory. That's where the buffer management is going to come into the scenario. Now, as far as file organizations need to be mentioned, they can be accessing a file to scan, to make an input operation, to retrieve all the records, and it is totally a unordered way, and it is purely maintained with pointers, etc. So that's the reason why we call it as a heap. Second one was the files are going to be sorted out with ascending or a descending way. That is the second way. And third way was items are going to be fetched out using a data structure called as indexing. So it is indexing is pointing out a specific column, etc. So index, they why we are going to use an index to have a file speed up, etc. To we do have this yeah, index concept at this point. So the list of data entries, we call it as K star, and from that K we will be getting the K value. Example, I can say student number, then I can say student name, followed by student marks. So in this point of time, what is K star? K star is equals to student number, student name, or student marks. Then what is K? K is equals to student number. This is putting this K or identifying a K, we are going to call here as an index. So we talked about indexing, and indexing, it can be purely implemented on a B plus tree. So we get a root followed by intermediate. These two items, we call them as non-leaf nodes, and we have the data items, and the data items, they are going to be called it as leaf nodes. They are sorted by the search key. So it is purely sorted way. If I get 17, the items in the left will be less than 17, the item will be at the greater than 17. So it is purely a sorted way of organizing the B star B plus tree indexing. So after B plus tree indexing, we talked about hash based indexing. So hash based indexing, yeah, it is purely good for making a equality content with and here the index, it is going to be collection of different buckets. So I had an example today that it is bucket number 1, 2, 3, 4, and if the bucket number was 5C naught, so 5 is going to be compared with the 5. If both are same, then 5C naught is placed into this buffer. So in this way we are going to get up the hash based. And if there was a overflow, yeah, we have a overflow. In this way we are concatenating at the end of the file, so that we get a overflow. So how is this maintained? It is maintained with a hash file, hash of R, and or it is bringing up the number of records. Now, the data entries, they can be propagated with three ways. First way was just to get key value. Second way was to get key value and the row ID or a record ID. Third, it is going to be the RID, stands for the record ID. So student number, student name, and student marks. Now 565 and 566, this entire thing we call it as record ID. So for this entire one item we get a record ID and it is stored as a pointer. For the entire row, for the entire record, we are going to get one value. That value we are going to call it as row ID. And if it is from 565 to 5C0, there is a list. So that's what we call it as a list of row IDs. So indexing can be built from different attributes, and that it can be with K, or it can be from K to RID, or it can be from K to list of RIDs. There are the three ways. Next, we talk about the index classification. And in this index classification, if it is a primary, then we are going to use a primary key for a primary key for uniqueness. If it is a secondary key, it can be a candidate key. And if we are talking about clustered, it is going to be totally sorted. Unclustered, it is unsorted. So clustered items, they use the primary key. Clustered items, they are going to use the primary key items. So they clustering, what was clustering here? They are going to group same items or close to items in the data entries. We mentioned it as a clustering item. So at this clustering item, you can see here data items are purely clustered, purely ordered. There is no ambiguity. But here you can see items are zigzag, items are pointed out to multiple way of linking. So it is what we call it as a unclustered. So it is heap, it is unordered. But at this point of time, we are going to get the ordered way of indexing the items. So that is regarding the clustered or unclustered item. This is repeated slide again. So either in clustered item or unclustered item, we need to estimate how much cost it is going to happen. So cost, the CPU cost, how you are going to estimate? We estimate with number of data pages represented with B, number of records represented with R, and the average time to make either a read item or to make a write item, it is going to be called here as a D. So mimixing B, mimixing R, mimixing D, these three items, we are going to get up the cost function here. So how cost? Yeah, of course, where do we apply the cost? We apply it on heap files, we apply it on sorted files, we apply it on B plus trees, sorted B plus trees, that is clustered, and we apply it on unsorted B plus trees, and finally we apply it on heap files which are going to use hash functions. So where we are going to apply these items were heap file, sorted file, clustered file, heap file with unclustered, and heap file with hash index. These are the 5 operations. And how many ways you need to compare? One way was to take up the input operation, that is fetching up all the records in the data. We call this item as scan. Second, we are going to make a comparison. Third, we are going to give a range, that is 90 to 100. That means all the values from 91 to 100, they are going to put it in a range, and we make an insert command or we make a delete command. So these are the different way of comparing the items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the items what we are going to compare it at this point. And we talked about heap, sorted, and index files, scan item. Next one was we are going to have the cost of operations. So cost of operations, we make a tabular form with scans, equality, range, insert and delete, and they are going to be applied with the heap or sorted or clustered or unclustered tree index or hashed index. So they are milled up with three operations B, D, and R. So one towards the number of data pages, two number of records, and three it is going to be applied with the average time to make a read or write operation. So using these three, we are going to make a cost functions. So that is what we have discussed for today regarding indexing. So